We are at Fort Toulouse in Wetumpka, Alabama. We are going to go into this visitor center right here. And then we're going to go down to some mounds. And catch you later. The Indian Mound. That's the first farmers during the Mississippian period built this mound on the edge of the village. Okay. Tuskegee. That's how the city Tuskegee got their name, from that Indian tribe. Okay. And the Alabama. That's where Alabama got its name. Yeah, this is a model of Fort Jackson. That's pretty neat. Look at that. It's pretty cool. But we're going to the Indian houses. Isn't that what I said, Vicki? Yeah, this is spot number 2. You'll see that little sign right there. So it's Indian houses.
The Creek Indian houses.
Yeah, Creek Indian houses. I bounce when I walk. I can't help it. I'm a woman. I bounce. Okay. This is kind of neat. Look at the little ladder climbing up there. That's cool. And they got the little pieces of wood down under there. That is neato.
Okay, the enclosed are for winter and the open is for summer.
Okay, so this must be the summer ones. Yeah. And then the enclosed ones are supposed to be for winter, right?
That's what it says.
Okay. I wonder what they did here. Like the deer, hung the deer meat, or pigs or whatever they ate. That's cool. You want to see inside? Might as well take you inside. God, this is made out of bark. Look at that. That's cool. Well, fake bark, but it's bark. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look. This is cool. They got like a bed, I guess up there there'd be beds or something. Cool.
Oh, that must have been short. Well, that would have been such a statement to make.
No, I guess not. Yeah, but some of the Native Americans were a little shorter than us. Yeah, I mean, that's just indigenous to them.
Not part King Kong like me. Well, I mean, I'm tall.
King Kong like
no,
you.
I mean, I'm from a tall family. I'm from a tall family. So, my dad was 6'3". I've got cousins that are 6'6". So
yeah. Well, that was the way when I went with Brittany. She's tall, you know.
She's taller than I am.
So you would watch your head right here.
Yes. Now, are these
I'm a little 5'2", huh?
Are these the cane poles like Mr. Mitchell used to do his green beans and stuff in? Are these cane poles?
Yeah,
cane poles?
they are.
Now that is
cool, ain't it?
That is something.
But that's what they did. And you know, even in Vietnam and Korea and Thailand, places like that, they'll use canes. And a lot of the building are their little simple houses, and it's pretty cool. I watch those primitive buildings, and they are so neat because they show stuff like that. It's got the little ladder going up.
But look at what.
And they'll sleep on it too. They won't put anything. Yeah. It's so weird.
Look at those. Looks like fishing lines they sewed them together with.
Well, all right, y'all. We're gonna go to the next the fort.
And then they made.
Okay.
Looking at a picture, it looks like that they cooked here, and possibly maybe hung things from up here.
You know, like maybe deer or a pig or something.
Draining it, perhaps. But this was their cooking area, because that's, looking at this picture,
right? You
can see that they used this as a cooking area, and then down here, their wooden stuff and their rocks to kind of hold their fire in.
And it's strange because there's the fort right there. So it's like, I don't know if these coincided at the same time or if they were different time periods, but you know, they did fight. This fort did fight with the Indians in 1812, so could have very well been, yeah.
I was looking at their roof, so this is like tree bark. But then it's got the cane poles.
Right, and you can kind of see them past her head there. Yeah. So it's very interesting.
What did they sew these cane poles with?
They tie them with things like kudzu, like they take vines and they could tie them and make string, or they could take like grapevines and they tie them, and then when they dry out, they're there. They're there. They're not going anywhere. They get real tough and hard when they get dry. So
you can see I guess you'd say whatever they used for thread.
Right.
It wasn't thread though, like we think of.
Right.
But
Exactly.
it was thread. Enter the replica of Fort Toulouse III. This is from 1751 to 1763, and it says, as you enter the fort, note the outside walls are constructed of split timbers that were not strong enough to stop a cannon shot, but were a ample protection against musket fire. On-site archaeology provided the information needed to reconstruct this fort.
All right, so here we go. Fixing to go in.
And because
I've got me a guide today. Thank you, Jesus.
It said no split logs. This is what it's talking about, and how it was enough to stop a cannon shot, which is kind of amazing. There.
It's the way they're made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like square and then round. That's weird.
But as you come in, this is cement.
Mm-hmm.
This is cement.
Yeah. Wow, look at the doors up in the air.
Yeah.
That's something.
Wow, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's probably plaster today, but
Yeah, plaster. It probably is plaster.
wow.
Okay. And then the logs are more at an angle, even when they're split there.
Yeah. And I guess that's where they would have stood to shoot and stuff. Yeah. And they got them all over the place.
Right here.
Yeah.
You have the stairs. You'd be able to walk at it.
Yeah.
The stairs are still pretty sturdy. Okay. You're looking out.
They got some new poles to work on it with.
And then
over
these
here,
are kind of cut in a spear shape. These poles here.
you can see out through it. And can you shoot your gun?
Yeah.
Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Excuse me. Shoot your weapon.
Yeah, 'cause you don't
For the
know-
bow and arrow or
you really
other?
don't know what they were shooting.
No, I really don't.
But it's interesting that these logs to me are kind of almost shaped like a spear.
Yeah.
It's kind of
That I think they did that to make it hard for them to climb up over or something, maybe.
okay.
In case they tried to climb,
Yeah.
they would. Now they probably were more pointed than this,
Yeah.
more spear pointed,
Right.
and that would keep them off. That was their form of
And then
keeping them
also
from getting over it.
feet down through here. If you have a shoe or something, could be splintery.
Right. Okay. Okay, I made it down. I'm waiting on my guide. She's really not my guide. She's really my sister-in-law, but she teaches in school, so she's real good at telling what's going on. So, but she said she's used to having the kids she's having to watch. So.
Yes, exactly. So. Okay. It doesn't really tell us what this back here is.
Number 4. This is number 4. Can you see what it says on number 4? Yeah. Just look on her.
This one's number 5 right here.
Oh, that says 4 over there.
Okay, so we need to do this first.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Number 4. What is number 4?
This is the commandant's quarters.
Oh, yeah, commandant.
And it says, we assume this building was the residence of the fort commandant. On the inside, note the post sunk into the ground and joined with mortise and tenon joints. Walls were made of sticks woven around uprights to form a basket-style partition that is covered with a mixture of clay, sand, and Spanish moss. The French term for this type of wall is, I'm going to kill this name, bousillage. The British called it wattle and daub.
Yeah, wattle and daub. Yeah, because they use like clay or something and sticks and yeah, and then yeah, that's what I watch those videos and they make them with wattle and daub. That's pretty neat. Got a cross up there on that. Yeah. I wanted to look in there first before I open the door. If you can get the door up there. That's why we made our chicken pen open. Yeah. And that, yeah, I don't think they go anywhere though.
But it doesn't actually take us up, whatever that's been blocked off.
Yeah. They're just letting us see this room right here. Because they got that one blocked off too, which I assume was probably about the same. Yeah, this is your wattle and daub right here. So they put the sticks, and then they put the clay, like dirt, over it, and then they cover it with something else and whitewash it. So.
And I still don't know how to say that French name. What little French I took in high school. I have forgotten how to put some of those letters.
Oh, and there's a pot. That's a pot like we'd set over the fire and cook in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But
oven. They have this brick floor.
yeah, go into the bread oven.
It doesn't really say why it has the brick floor, but it has.
Probably to make it easier, I guess. I don't know.
Perhaps to sit on to eat, maybe.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
But this is the only area that I have seen so far with a brick floor.
And you said it didn't say anything about the chimneys.
No, there's nothing.
So I'm wondering if there was houses there that burned, maybe, because it looks burned. You know, the whole thing.
Now it did say to note.
And
the
that could have been
cannon.
where the barracks were, and they burned. I don't know.
It also said to note the cannon that was in the parade.
Yeah, and we look like they're still working on it, sort of, or they might just cover it up with that thing.
Stairs going to the cannon.
Yeah. Let me get a picture of that too while we're. I'm a little goofy, but this is what we used to do as kids right here. We call them doodle bugs. We'd say, doodle bug, come get your supper. Doodle bug, come get your supper. Doodle bug, come get your supper. And if I can find the doodle bug, I found one. And now this one don't want to come out. Doodle bug, I guess he ain't hungry. Let's try another one. Doodle bug, come get your supper. There he is, see? There he is. There's a doodle. Oh, come on, doodle bug. Y'all can see him. I don't know what those are actually called, but there he is. That's what we used to do as kids. We found fun in that. Still kind of fun today, actually. I think this is the blacksmith shop. My husband and my dad first used to sing a song about the blacksmith shop. Went to the blacksmith shop. I can't remember how it goes now, but somebody's wife in the blacksmith shop and have a mouth all small. Turned around time or two, swallowed the shop mall.
Oh, God.
Well, that might have been the old Mew, I don't know. But anyway, they sung something about a blacksmith shop. I wish I could remember it right now to do it. I had to get him to do it sometime.
Well, it says this is the blacksmith shop. This building is an example of a smith's work area and does not represent any particular time period.
Yeah, now I got my certificate in blacksmithing, or not blacksmithing, but horseshoeing. And I never did do anything. We had horses at the time, but I never did shoe them. And because I had not been hands-on, I'd only studied the books, and a guy was supposed to come help me with it once just to see if I could do it. And I did file their feet and stuff like that, but I never made any horseshoes or anything like that. So, but I don't know if we can see through these cracks right here or not.
Let's see if we can find a window.
Yeah.
Open.
See in there, but you can't really see it. Yeah, the other place had a window you can open. I don't see one here. You might like this stick bug. I hate these things. I don't know what it is about them. I can't stand them. They creep me out for some reason. I don't know why. I've always been creeped out by them. Guess we don't get to see inside the blacksmith shop today because they got it closed and won't let us in. Okay, Vicky, now. You're the teacher, I know, and you have a bunch of kids, but I can't figure that one out.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to crawl through there? Or are they supposed to open that up and stand there?
I don't know. I'm wondering if this is maybe the urinal and they have it covered.
Or water fountain? Who knows? I mean, with that sign.
That's right,
Or maybe behind you is the door.
I found it, but no smoking in the bathroom.
Oh.
There's a no smoking sign.
Okay.
So I feel it all.
Well, they need to clarify that just a little bit. 'Cause
Here stood Fort Toulouse, a defense against the Indians built by Bienville, 1714. The Alabama Society of Colony Dames preserves the memory of faithful service, 1912.
Cool. Then you have somebody, a National Historic Landmark there showing it 1961. So. Okay.
Okay, this is a tribute in I can't read Jackson.
Anyway, it has to do with General Andrew Jackson.
It's General Andrew Jackson, who on March 27, 1814, I'm jumping up, he defeated the Creek Indians in a decisive
battle at
Horseshoe
Bend. Yeah,
Bend.
yeah, I remember that. That's how I knew what it said.
Okay.
And that's the fort right there.
You don't have a shade on it. You can read it a little
Yeah.
better. I think that's actually three of the landmarks right there.
Well, when you said it, I remember, because I remember he defeated them at Horseshoe Bend, and I knew the rest of it without.
That. You couldn't read it. It's not clean.
Sorry, y'all. I know I bounce, but I can't help it. My body bounces. What do you do? This is number 8 on the trail, right? You need this paper to read here.
Yeah, let me do that. I probably needed the paper to read number 7.
Yeah, probably did. Probably been easier, wouldn't it?
Probably would have been. Okay, and we are on the Bartram Nature Trail. This 1 mile long trail winds along ridge lines and river bottoms at the southern end of the park. Just inside the trail entrance, you noted the marker dedicated to Sergeant Jean Louis Fontenot, who served at Fort Toulouse from 1735 to 1754. Off the trail to your left is a cemetery, which we're about to enter.
Right.
Off the trail to your left is a cemetery. Only one prominent marker remains, that is of Isaac Ross. The cemetery is privately owned but open to public viewing. Further along the trail is a marker dedicated to William Bartram, the famous naturalist who passed through this area in 1775.
Okay. As we get over here to this Fort,
and this will be Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson, yeah, I couldn't remember.
Okay.
Why have they got those sticking out like that? Were they part of the defense or something?
Well, let's read it and
or have
see
they
if
fallen, or I don't know. It's kind of
yes,
weird.
Okay, Fort Jackson. This is a partial reconstruction of the War of 1812 period Fort Jackson.
Okay.
The fort was built by United States forces under General Andrew Jackson in 1814. The walls were 7 feet high, picketed and surrounded by a moat.
Oh, okay.
Together they created,
so that's what this is, the moat. Okay. Yes. And it goes around like this. Okay. I wondered.
Together they created a 15-foot barrier to infantry attackers and served as a strong defense against artillery. The addition of sharpened stakes and phrases provided a complex defense. Note the differences in construction between the American and French forts.
Yeah, there is definitely a difference.
Yeah.
This is the American fort, right?
Right.
The French was a lot better, actually.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the French had more spikes, and the Americans were flatter.
Right. But that's a pretty good size up there.
Yes. But the French did not have the moat.
Right.
And the Americans did.
The French just had pointed stakes. You know, when they built the temple in Jerusalem, it has nothing to do with this area, but when they built it with gold, and they had golden spikes to keep the birds from sitting on it, because the points were sharp and they wouldn't sit on it. And that's what kind of, when I saw that, I wondered if that was why they made it with spikes, so that, you know, they wouldn't want to climb over. They'd be afraid to climb over.
Right.
So I guess they put a flag there when they have the reenactments.
More than likely.
And they had the reenactments out here this past Saturday, I think. So we missed it by 3 days.
I'm looking to see if you can see over this. And yeah, you could definitely have a good view.
Let me get up here then when they can see it.
You can tell it's a little bit above.
Yeah.
Above the ground. You know how the moat, see what I'm saying? You can, You can see, and you can see a good ways off. Yeah.
True. That had to be a little taller than me, though.
Yeah. if you're like me. But really, you think about most of the time, men were the ones fighting the wars. They probably were taller than me.
Yeah, they definitely were taller than me, probably. Even if they were shorter than our men, they still were taller.
You can get a good all the way around. You can see out far. I mean, a good ways off. At least a couple miles.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Yeah, if it's cleaned up. Vicky's going to tell me her story about the kids, her working with the kids.
Okay.
So we'll walk and you can
All
talk.
right. A couple of Sundays ago, I was teaching Sunday school, and I teach small children. Well, this child was 5. Well, we were talking about Jesus walking on the water. Well, while we were talking about that, they wanted if they can make some hot chocolate. So my husband made some hot chocolate for the kids while I was doing the lesson about Jesus walking on the water. Well, when we finished with the lesson about Jesus walking on the water, I said, well, what is something that you use to make hot chocolate that Jesus walked on? And a little boy told me, he said, water, but you don't make it from the Sea of Galilee because it will be salty. And I was like, oh, definitely. So we do not make our hot chocolate from water from the Sea of Galilee.
I wonder what made him think about
Because
that.
Jesus walked on the Sea of Galilee.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. He connected those
He
two.
connected. Jesus walked on the Sea of Galilee. So do not make the hot chocolate from the water from
I
the Sea
wonder
of
if he
Galilee.
thought that Jesus walking on the Sea of Galilee was what made it salty.
I don't know. Who knows? He's 5.
Okay, now, go.
The paper refers to this as the Mississippian Mound.
Yeah.
And it says, the low tree covered hill before you is a Mississippian Mound, which was used as a living space dating to approximately 1100 AD. The field adjacent to the mound is the site of the associated Mississippian village and the Alabama village of Pecana. The mound and the village were built by people who were most likely connected with Moundville, located about 20 miles south of present-day Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Mississippian culture is believed to have originated in the Mississippi River Valley circa 1050 AD and continued as the dominant culture of the Southeast until the time of European exploration and settlement. Okay. The mound at Fort Toulouse, Fort Jackson Park. This earthen mound and an adjacent village were built by people of the Mississippian culture who likely had some relationship to the major mound center at Moundville near present-day Tuscaloosa. The Mississippian culture is believed to have originated in the Mississippi River Valley near the end of the first millennium, AD, circa 1050, and continued as the dominant culture of the Southeast until the time of European exploration and settlement, 1511 to 1700. This site sits at a strategic location near where the Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers join to form the Alabama River. The inhabitants of the village could control all movement of people and goods up and down the river, thereby enabling economic and political control as well as cultural influence over a massive area. Situated on sandy, well-drained soil 40 feet above the river, this site seldom floods. Consequently, it was one of the most intensively occupied indigenous sites in Alabama, and it remained a center of significant American Indian occupation until the removal of the Creek Indians in the 1830s. The historic period, Alabama and the Muskogee Creek villages named Pecana and Tuskegee, respectively, were also located here. And note that Tuskegee, T-A-S-K-I-G-I, is not how we spell Tuskegee now. This site is very important to numerous southeastern indigenous tribes who assert an ancestral connection with those who built and occupied Alabama's ancient mounds. The earthwork, landscapes, and the objects and information recovered from them reveal a rich cultural tradition that still thrives today among these tribes. Our indigenous mound sites represent a heritage for all Alabamians to cherish, and it's important that we protect and preserve them for future generations. And then they asked a question. They said, how do you celebrate your ancestors?
Well, I don't know who all of them are, so that that's kind of hard to answer.
I just know they're tall on my dad's side and a little shorter on my mother's.
Yeah, and I just know a lot of them was in the ministry on my dad's side, so that's good. I like that.
A picture of this, Cherry.
Uh-huh.
There's a picture right here, and we could read what this picture underneath.
I'm sweating.
Or you can read it if you want to levy it up.
They can read, stop it and read it if they want to read it. I'll just do that. Yeah, it's a cabin somewhere in a park here in Wetumpka, and oops, it's called the Civic Room, whatever that is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just the name of the Civic Room.
Yeah, that's neat. But then in the back, it's got Oh, show you if I can do it before my stuff runs out. They fixed the chimney up. They're still working on the window. And in the back, but they got this little arch thing like a monument. And you see the river right down there where the car's parked. That's where a car is. And that was called the wisdom box on the other side of that little thing.
Yeah. Notes in it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, gifts of oh, okay. So if they get married there, it's probably to put on gifts of wisdom.
I think so.
And that was dedicated to some general, that monument. Yeah. Place for a wedding right there, and I think that may be what it's for. That little box on the side of that is right there. So, all right, we're gonna walk out this little bridge here. It's got a little place to sit out there. It's really nice. I think this is called, what was this called? Gold Star Park or something? Gold something other park. It's real nice. The Coosa River down there, and that is so pretty. Okay, Neve, what did you say about the boats?
There used to be a time when they would do riverboat rides on the Coosa River.
Oh, okay. That's neat. Oh, and there's a pretty little creek down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a nice little creek. I'd like to get down there and look for rocks. But I don't think I want to get down there from here. There's probably a better way.
This is way up.
Yeah, and it's a real pretty rocky creek now. Yeah, somebody got to it somehow. Probably down yonder near the parking thing. That's interesting. Wonder what this is. Does it say? It's like somebody doing something, people sitting on the rocks. Interesting. Like a little hill right there. Yeah, but the way they have to stand. Unless they let them aboard across there. Yeah. Now this is a beautiful view right here. It's a walking trail goes out through there, and man, be good, nice walking trail. And I think that other side over there had a place where they come down and probably launch their boats. What it looked like to me when we got out of the car. Yeah, it's a nice little park. I bet that's how they actually get to that creek right there. Yeah, it's kind of neat the way that those rocks are all through there. And you got the bridge, the city bridge there. I like the way they made that bridge right there. That's pretty cool. And then they got graffiti on the walls. Yeah, well, I guess we better go to the other side if it's continued from this side. Read it first.
1834, the Wetumpka Toll Bridge company built the first of four bridges spanning the division.
You can stop it if you want to watch it, so because I'm about out of battery and about out of let's go. And I believe that's the first jail in Wetumpka right there. We're gonna get up and see it a little closer. Interesting, I love things made out of stuff like that. And this is the first jail in Wetumpka. Coosa River rose to this location after heavy rainfall. Wow. That's hard to imagine, isn't it?
That must be when that bridge washed out then.
It must have been. Look at this in front, that's neat. Wow, it wasn't a very big jail, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool history, yeah. Then you can see out over the river real good. See how those rocks and stuff?
Yes. I'm just fascinated with that.
Look at the little bitty windows.
It's so pretty. Oh,
Thatched roof.
In that little jail.
That's neat. And then they got this over here. I've never been here. It's a cool little town. Look at all this Coca-Cola thing. I love that. Little sitting area. Then they got a motorcycle out here up on its side, and got this a cute little spot. It's just kind of neat out in all of this out here. I've never been out here. I've been through here a bunch of times, but never been in this particular spot. This is so cool. That is just neat. It's like made it like a little rocket. There's a little turtle made out of metal. That's so cool. I think my phone went off. Y'all be blessed and have a great day.